What is going on, brothers and sisters? Welcome back to Palia. Today we're going to talk about a money maker as well as an XP maker for your cooking. The prerequisite for this is you are going to need a few materials that you're going to find out in the fields of Kalima here, mostly around this area as well as along the coastlines here. I like to hang out in Fisherman's Lagoon for them. The first is this right here. Thank you for being a good specimen. The Crystal Lake Lotus. So we're going to need Crystal Lake Lotus, and then as I'm sure you're all quite familiar with is the Emerald Carpet Moss. I'll show you a snippet of that in just a moment as we walk away from Einar here. And then you're going to need to have level 5 fishing and have yourself a Fisherman's Brew recipe. So you're going to need 1,000 for that. So you can see that this requires 1 Emerald Carpet Moss and a Crystal Lake Moss, which the Emerald Carpet Moss is going to be 18 gold of value if you sold it as is, and then 20 for the Crystal Lake Lotus as is for a 38. Now let's see what happens when we cook these pretty quickly, mind you, for some decent cooking XP as well as some okay cash. And this is what your Emerald Carpet Moss will look like. Finding these is a lot easier at night because you can see if it's becoming dawn now, but you can see the glow really easily from far away, whereas at daytime it's not as easy. Oh, look, a praying mantis. Well, I'll take you home with me. Thank you very much. Always carry your sacks on you for some easy bug catching. So we'll grab this and let's go home. Well, look at that. Another one. Another reason why to always keep your sacks on you. Here are the details for the fishing brew. You can see you're going to make 5 of them at a time for 1 moss and 1 lotus. And what the boost is a minor fishing safe zone. That's just those little hashtag, or not hashtags, but like parentheses that you see when you're fishing. That's like that. It's lit up green when you're surrounding the fish with it, or it's like orange when they jump and red if you're too far. That just gets bigger. So honestly, like unless you're streaming it because your PC can't quite handle Palia and you have that little bit of lag, this isn't beneficial to the most anybody out there. So instead what we do is we make some fishing brews and then we just sell them. So you can see these take about 5 seconds. You only need 1 campfire, but having 2 will just make this easier because as you collect them and get the next one made, the other one's ready to go. Then you can just kind of go back and forth and you don't have to sit around and wait too much. This is a perfect activity if you're watching some other ShabbyDoo YouTube videos out there. You know, if you do want to see more of those, double check to make sure you're subscribed down below and hit that like button as well if you do find this helpful. So let me cook all of these up right here. So we'll make like what, 23 or 24 stacks of these things, and we'll talk about what the profit is on this and what the costs were, and just look at how nicely this turns out for us. But you can see here up in the upper right corner, we're gaining some good XP. It's just slightly past that. Look at that big jump there. That is the same XP as you pretty much get for cooking meals inside the house on a stove with a prep station with many steps in it. So this is just fantastic. The only downside to this is you can't do it with your friends. This is not a shared activity, whereas the stoves are. Using the stoves for XP is great because you could take complicated recipes, have a bunch of friends over your house, each contribute like an item or two and a step in the process, and you all gain the XP and you all gain the item, and you're just gonna have a great time as well. However, when you're just looking for some quick levels, go out for your clay runs, run along that coastline down where Einar hangs out. What I do is I just farm a bunch of clay. I pick up all the flowers along the way. I hunt bugs when I do it. The profit from the bugs is not great, but it's better than nothing because at least with the standard pouch, pretty much everything you catch takes like 1 or 2 shots anyways, so it's pretty decent unless you find some cool stuff like a proud stag one, then that can take a couple, or maybe like a quality millipede, but that's still okay too. You know, it adds up. I feel like every time I do a run with that, I get like 100 plus clay, I get a bunch of emerald glass, I get some lotus. The lotus is new to my repertoire as I found out about this recipe, so I start paying attention more. Now I've cooked 50 meals. Beautiful stuff. We're almost done here. You can see in real time this is going pretty decently. It took just a couple minutes. I obviously didn't have a ton of these just kind of laying around, so we're going to make a few stacks, but at the end of the day, some is better than none. And this is all just from passively gaining stuff. Like I haven't gone out of my way to find emerald grass or the lotus. I just do it when I'm out fishing or when I'm mostly just getting my clay runs. Like I said, I go out for clay and then I get these at the same time. Grab that. So you can see here from that, we made what, 30, 60, 90, 105, 130. So right there, you know, 130 divided by 5, because each of those made 5 apiece. It means I used 26 items, which we said was worth, I think it was 38 gold, right? So we'll say that times 38. So that's what I would have sold all the items for, 988, right? My math is right. Am I thinking straight? It's pretty late at night right now. And if I throw these in here, let me take all these out, actually. That's just some fish I got earlier. And there we go. So you can see that a stack, each one of these is worth 19. Right? So if there's 19 in them, so each stack is worth 95. So you're making a slight profit off of this still. You're making like a 200% investment of cost there. Plus you're going to gain some XP. I gained an entire level off of that. And honestly, it wasn't even a lot of stuff. So with this, now that was a good chunk of change as well, because I'm never going to use any of those items. So that's just going to come in handy for me there. But brothers and sisters, if you found that useful, make sure you're hitting that like button down below. Double checking to make sure you're subscribed so you can be back here for more shabby content, including Palia. But I definitely suggest don't sleep on the fishing brew. If they haven't nerfed it yet, it'll probably nerf soon, so they're not as expensive. But all right, brothers and sisters, until next time, I hope the rest of your day is not too shabby.